It used to bug me when bands would send me mix notes and you get 4 separate emails from 4 different people and be like, just get together on it, consolidate to one, one email.
We definitely do that. We make it very easy for our mix engineers. On this record, Zach Servini mixed it. Dude's a goat, but we, even down to like bouncing the stems. I group them in folders of like guitars, bass, extra instruments, like 808, electronic drums, live drums, and like everything starts at the same spot, and it's pre-mixed. It comes in leveled, like we level it ourselves because, telling somebody to like turn this part up and turn this part down is just such a waste of time,
Right, yeah.
And so, at that point, it's more of like the sound design of the mix that like we're not able to like do ourselves, because like leveling's easy. You know what needs to be turned up, you know what needs to be turned down. And we often compose with the mix in mind. Like very similarly, like I learned this concept from listening to Skrillex for the first time, or like thinking back on how it was when I first listened to Skrillex. I remember thinking, this is the most wild shit I've ever heard, and I didn't know that you could make music like that. And if you listen to his music, like it's very, like each thing is sound designed to fit together.
That's
what I mean?
right.
It's like a puzzle piece.
This is actually what I was talking about pop music, really well done. Anything that's done modern music that has sound design elements, everything sounds good on its own, and it's a puzzle piece. That's the real art of creating these things.
And to compose with that in mind means like choosing the right sounds and shaping those sounds and leaving space, like what you were saying about the bass.
Leaving space, EQ-wise leaving space. And I mean, right down to the panning, if something's in stereo, just like what you're talking about when you're talking about having the guitar in the center and then the octave up guitar spread out, maybe with some more verb on it or whatever it is, or delay, and just making those choices so that when it goes to the mixer, a lot of that stuff's already been decided, right?
Yeah. Like pretty much everything, all the...
I mean, that's part of the composition.
All the effects and everything is like
printed.
Composition. But even like compositionally with the bass, like leaving space between one hit and the other to like make more of an impact. Just like the whole process is very intricate and hands-on, and everything is very, very, very intentional. Not a single second. I think the term that was described to me was called riding the mix. Like how you'd ride a horse. Like riding the mix, so that like as each bar happens, each bar is thought about. And like it gets its own attention. And you have to do that the entire song, which makes for a really special listen because things are evolving and changing. This was the first record that I personally got into like sound design, where songs like Nieradka, we're mixing guitars. There's parts that like, okay, I did a pass and then Scott did a pass, and then we took like each, like a bar from me and a bar from Scott and a bar from me and 2 bars from Scott, 2 bars from me, and like that's the line. And we run it through the plugin, right? And like it sounds like one person's playing it, but they're just switching between Tim and Scott style, right? So we've got a hybrid of between me and Scott on one line, and then we do the same line by chopping up vocal samples so that it fits the melody.
Okay.
And then we line them up and we shape them to each other, and I call this mirroring. And where you just like make sure the tail ends are like perfectly in sync. You make sure that like, so that you've got this really interesting blend of a vocal and a guitar. Then you go get a synth and add a 3rd layer. And so you kind of like automate each thing so that like it evolves. It like does like I don't know what I'm trying to say. It goes like that. And it's really interesting to listen to. It's constantly changing as it's progressing through the song. And then it comes back to something familiar. which is like the actual guitar tone. You
Yeah.
know? But like as you listen to like that song in particular, you'll notice that like you think you're listening to guitar, and then it just all of a sudden it ends on the vocal, and then comes back in on the guitar, and you're like, when did that change? You know, and yeah, just like lots of little things like that.
I know I learned something new, Tim, too, from one of your videos, that you can go on Fiverr and get somebody to do a whistle sample, a whistle melody. You can actually pay someone to do that. Now, how many whistle examples did you get from that?
I only needed the one because I tuned it,
Right.
And you know, mixed it. Like my.
But Tim, no one in the band can whistle.
I didn't want to wait. Also,
Okay.
like I'm kind of an asshole that I like to like surprise people with things,
Right.
Or I'll like the end of Playing God. By the time that we had sent Ibanez the Playing God demo, it was only the first half.
Yeah.
There was no second half.
Okay.
And like the end of Playing God, from the main melody, the whistle melody, to the very end of all the crazy arpeggios and the crazy riffs and stuff, was done in a single night. I just like got really high and was like, I have ideas, and just carried them out. And you know, I was like, okay, but I need a whistle, and my philosophy is like why use a plugin when you could like have a real person do it? So strings, trumpets, like anything.
And it cost you
that,
what, like $38 or something like that?
Well, you know, let me just say, if you're gonna use Fiverr, buy the commercial license.
Okay.
Lesson learned.
Wait a minute, I'm gonna play that. Let me play that song. Oh.
So yeah, the whistle and all the vocals, all the strings, like all real, all recorded by people. So yeah, like I can't whistle. I didn't know if anybody else in the band could, but like I said, I like to surprise people.
I tried to do that whistle, and I couldn't. I can't. I used to be able to whistle, but I can't get the high notes anymore. As you get old, it's like you can't. I just can't.
Yeah,
can't get any
I
notes
can't
out.
do a whistle. That's the best I got.